What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be diving back on into Mage and Monsters. We checked this game out about 6 months ago, and this is an auto-battling brawler army builder roguelike that, like, when we looked at it, was just a very, very basic demo. Like, it was a core idea, but it was a core idea that was solid. The game has been out now for about 3 months, and the developer has been actively adding a lot more content to the game. And so this version that we're taking a look at actually has a fully developed endgame. It's got a new map that you can go to that's like a brutal mode after the endgame. It's got a little bit of Vampire Survivors style power-ups added on in here. It's got a whole bunch more unlockable mages that you can play as, and their progression through the maps is tracked. So you can play mage by mage, kind of beating everything and figuring out what you want to do. There's like 2 new tiers of units, and so anyways, there's a whole bunch of things in the game right now, and we're going to dive back on in and check it out. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, it's very reasonably priced at $3. $3 whole dollary dues. You can find that link down below in the description. Then on top of that, you can also find links down there to my Discord and my Twitch stream, just in case you wanted to hang out live. Let's go ahead and play some Mage and Monsters. As of right now, I want to play as Iskar. I've played Priscillus, I've played Astrina. I haven't beaten the game yet. I've made it to like the final round of endgame, basically, but I didn't win. So at the end, you basically have to do like 5 really hard fights back to back with no upgrades, and it gets intense very, very quickly, so I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm going to get there. We'll play as Iskar. We can only play in the arena, so that's what we're going to do. And we got to choose our starting army. I'll probably go with Dwarven Warriors, because you know how I feel about elves. If I absolutely have to pick up some elves, I will. But for right now, cast magic on them. There we go. Give them nice little freezy boy action. We start out with one spell. It's called Frost Shock. It allows us to freeze enemies, and enemies that are frozen take like double damage. So it should be helpful for really like making sure that our melee punches through the front line. And after our first combat is done right there, we get to pick a reward. This is going to be the way that it goes all the way up till level 30. Level 30 is the final level, so you want to make sure you spend all your money on level 30, because after that, you go into the end game, which means that there will be no more upgrades for you to take. I'm going to take 6 footmen right here just to develop out my front line, and then in between rounds, you get a large selection of upgrades that you can play around with, so we can unlock new spells, we can buy new units, we can get upgrades for our units like melee damage, HP, spell cooldown. You can increase the amount of upgrades you get like every single time you select after a mission, that kind of stuff. For right now, what we want to do is we want to save up some money, because if you look at this little meter over here on the left, this game has an ante-up system, which means that the more money you have in the bank, you generate interest, and that interest becomes very, very considerable, and in fact, in my opinion, is integral to winning the game. Like, you really need to capitalize on interest, so I'm going to try to stack up 500 bucks about as soon as possible. I don't think we'll have too many problems with our current warband. I think we'll be alright. We just got to get a real good spot, there we go, for our freezy spell. And it looks like our units are pounding on through. The dwarves are holding that southern corner right there while the footmen hold back the line up top. We have one archer over here, just one singular archer that I bought via in-between game upgrades. Let's go and help out with that. We'll get 6 more elven archers in order to help us out with our fight. However, we are at unit cap right now, so we're going to want to do something about that. Let's go ahead and add another 10 to our unit cap. That unfortunately takes us back down below 100, which means we're not going to be getting interest from our fights. But that's okay. These early fights are very much gimmies. The game isn't going to pick up speed till about level 20, and that's when things are going to start getting real intense. So just kind of keep that in mind, is that we've got a little bit of runway to play around with, where even if our units get wiped out, our archers should be able to handle any remaining threats without any major attrition or malfunctions. Your units come back after every single fight, so it doesn't really matter if they die in the combat. So don't worry about that too much. Chain Lightning is also a very strong spell, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. And then we have 100 bucks that we're sitting on right now. Unleash the lightning of the chain. That's the sound of my foes dying on the chain. Lightning. It didn't really rhyme, I guess. I don't know. Sam Cooke is one of my favorite singers, though. I don't know if I ever talked about that on the channel. I really like Sam Cooke. I grew up listening to Sam Cooke and like Aaron Neville and all of those guys, and so like I'm an addict for that music right there. We can take, let's go ahead and grab 6 more Elven Warriors right there. We're going to take another unit cap increase just to make sure that we don't top out and miss out on any upgrades. And then straight into the next fight, let's go ahead and Chain Lightning them nice and early. And then this looks like a nice little group, right? Let's see how they pool up. There we go. Perfect. We got the wizards too. Very nice. And so this should be a nice and easy clear. Now, as we move up the tiers, these are all tier 1 units, so they're going to be very, very simple units. They're one guy, they hit one thing. But as we get further on into the game, your units are going to get more specialized. As you get towards, like, I think tier 5 or tier 6 is the final tier. They're going to start doing a lot of special stuff. They're going to start having cleaves. They're going to start AoE freezing enemies. They're going to start spamming AoE heals. That kind of stuff. And so keep an eye on it. We'll take another unit cap increase right there. We're at 200, which means we're getting 20 bonus gold every single time we win a fight. I would like to chain lightning all of you guys over here. We're going to go ahead and freeze their front line. Your spells do affect your units if it doesn't otherwise say so. So keep that in mind as well. So for example, my Frost Shock more than likely... Oh, freeze enemy units in the target area, so I can cast it in my own brawling area. Very nice. Well, a lot of the spells in this game hurt your own units. We've got Reign of Death over here. Reign of Death is pretty good, too. I'll go ahead and take it. This one you gotta watch out for. This one can hit your own units, so, like, you know, don't be a jerk and slaughter your own guys. Let's go ahead and get on in here. We'll drop a Reign of Death over here. We'll go ahead and chain lightning right there. We're going to freeze all those guys right there just to take the pressure off this southern flank because I don't want them to get through. However, I think we are going to have to stiffen up the front line because these little ghoulies over here are really, really hurting. Luckily, we've got enough archers to where they're going to pick them off before they get to us. But that failure in the front line right there denotes a problem to me, something that needs to be solved. So let's go ahead and I will take 50 gold right here. And we're going to choose units. I want 6 more footmen. I want 6 more Dwarven Warriors. And that's about all we can do for right now. But let's send them on in. We'll see how it goes. We're going to go ahead and... Oop, I didn't want to do that. I hit the wrong hotkey. The thing is, in between fights, your hotkeys change up. Very, very hard on the old muscle memory. So Q on my last run was my Reign of Death key, in case you were wondering. And so that's why I misfired it right there. We'll go ahead and freeze him up real quick, and we're looking pretty good. Level 8 has been taken care of. We got 70 more bucks to play with. I'm going to take 6 more footmen right here. We are going to have to increase our max units, unfortunately, so we don't waste an upgrade on the next go. We're going to drop a Reign of Death over there. Should pepper these guys up pretty good. We'll go ahead and soften that line right there. And once they all pile in, we'll freeze them up right there just to slow them down a little bit so that they don't chew through that line. I don't know what I'm going to take for my 4th spell. I haven't really decided yet. We seem to be on we're on like a decidedly killy vector right now. We're very, very killy at the moment. And so I'll probably lean into something that deals more damage. I will take 6 more archers. That sounds good. And then... I think we should probably go up to tier 2 units right now, even though it's going to hurt our interest, because I want to start stockpiling tier 2 units. It looks like we got a free centaur out of that deal. These guys over here, yeah, bomb them out, I guess. That should kill off the wizards at the bare minimum. We'll go ahead and chain lightning the back right there. Yeah, not too bad. That actually worked out okay. I think we should have a very, very swift and easy clear right here. I don't think it'll be too many problems. Yep, pretty much everybody's still standing. It's always a good day when you don't have to die in the service of a mad wizard who enjoys gladiatorial combat. Let's get some bandits. They're pretty decent tier 2 melee units. And we are now officially at cap, which means we should start getting really, really, really good interest returns. And up until level 30, we're going to spend everything in excess of 500. So from here, that's when we're really going to start making gains when it comes to the development of our army. We'll go ahead and drop some bombs right there. Looks good. Killed off a whole bunch of them. We'll lightning strike all those guys real fast just to get them up and out of our hair, but we do have a king skeleton over here that we're going to have to deal with before we go too much further, unfortunately. So hopefully he gets taken down. It looks like the arrows are affecting him. He's not following those classic D&D rules of, like, puncturing weapons not hurting skeletons. Let's go ahead and we will go for a couple more bandits, I guess. Sounds good. We got 655 bucks to play around with. I'm going to spend this on unit cap for right now. 180 should be fine. I don't know if I've ever gone up and over the top of like 200. So that's probably the last we're going to spend right there. And here's a fun round. This is where they just throw like a gazillion boggarts at you. That's pretty much it. That's the whole fight. And so we're going to have to like clear some of this out as they pool up on us. Give me a nice little freeze right there. Looks good. We'll get another bomb over here. These little, like, wheat for the threshing fights are, like, my favorite. I love these ones that have, like, a super high kill count where all of the enemies are, like, comparatively really, really weak but there's like thousands of them. These always end up being my favorite fights. And with the supplement of spells right there, we managed to pull it on through. However, I am still seeing problems with our front line. And so I'd like to develop the front line out a little bit. Let's see what we can do with the 120 bucks we just made. We got backline choices. I don't know how I feel about that. I'll take the backline since there's nothing else here to really populate with. And we're going to go up to tier 3 units, which has given us our first kind of magical unit. We've got a cherubim, but we got an apprentice as our freebie, so I'll take it. This might get a little bit nasty. Let's go ahead and drop some bombs over here. We'll go ahead and drop some lightning over there too. Right after they make base contact, we're going to freeze them up right there along that center so that we don't get routed along the middle of our line, because that would be really, really bad. The last thing I want right now is to be cloven in twain. No, sir. No twaining shall happen here. Down goes another troll, and we've got another 120 bucks to play around with. I need more melee, guys. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to save up if we can survive it to get T4 units. I suppose I could take one more draft. Let's go ahead and we'll take 3 cherubs right there. Sounds good. It helps out a little bit. It's not much, but it's something. We'll try to bomb out all their casters here. We'll put a chain lightning along that lower edge. We'll freeze everybody in that row. Luckily, the damage from the freeze actually killed them all off. The cherubims are nice because they regenerate HP every now and again, which can definitely give them a little bit of staying power for this phase of the game. Later on, they're going to get wiped pretty quickly and one-shotted, which is usually why I don't like to use up a whole bunch of my unit cap on low-tier units. I usually prefer to kind of get in there and make it happen. A Griffon. Did we get a Griffon? No, we got a Golem. Golems are pretty good, though, because Golems are tanks, and they reflect damage, which is like an absolutely beautiful gimmick. It just works out great. We'll go ahead and throw lightning out. I don't know if it's really going to help. We'll freeze those guys so that they take a little bit of double damage right out here at the front. We're fighting 4 bosses simultaneously. However, I am of the opinion that we should be able to handle this no problem. This should be a bueno type situation. There we go. So the Bone Lords have been dropped and scattered to the winds by my mighty warband. I've never taken a Griffin before, so I'm actually interested in taking the Griffins. Every time they attack, they're like a minigun. Their attacks hit harder and harder and harder, depending on how many times they've previously attacked. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, we do need to save up for the tier 5 unit unlock, I think. So let's just kind of get rolling here. We'll take a cue from Limp Bizkit, which normally, under most circumstances, I would say is like a really, really bad idea. But in this situation, I think it's notable. Yeah, nice little clear right there. We're starting to catch our breath and move forward. 150 bucks. I'll take 2 more Griffins because I like the idea of them getting more damage every time they attack. I actually really, really like that idea. It sounds awesome to me. All right, so we need 220 more bucks before we can get T5 units without losing our 50 gold bonus. It's gonna get hairy before it gets better. Go ahead and soften them up right there. Go ahead and freeze along that lane to give the Griffins some time to kind of like minigun up. Griffins are starting to hit pretty hard if you can keep them alive. The only downside here is I don't have any control over my formation. Everybody basically just spawns and charges. And so if I had control of my formation, I kind of put the Griffins in the back so that they made base contact last, so they had more time to make use of their ability. But it's kind of like a non-factor because we seem to be kind of like comp stomping right now. So I'll probably let this roll. We'll take 2 golems. Sure, 2 golems sounds good. Let's run it again. Drop some bombs over there on that corner. Hit them with some chain lightning down here just to help out the old forces. And we'll go ahead and freeze them right there. Unfortunately, that killed everything in the front lines. Was hoping that would not be how it went down, but it's how it went down. This is one of them chaff fights. They are actually going to be through pretty soon. So I need to get those wizards knocked out so that at least the archers have something going for them. We've got 1 golem left. We've got 1 poor little shield guy down here who's trying to hold, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have it in him. The archers, however, should be able to clear up these last couple wizards. One detail I like about this game is how the bodies stay on the field so that you can really get like a feel for how gnarly the fighting was. Let's go ahead and take some paladins. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do the Paladin. And then we've got enough for T5 units right here. The Cyclopses, in my opinion, the best unit in this tier. But the Frost Jotuns are also really, really good. I'm going to buy a few more units. And in fact, I got a free Cyclopean right there. You love to see it. I'll prop 2 free Cyclopeans. Very nice. So these guys are basically the highest tier ranged in the game. They hit really, really, really hard. And they do it from across like the entire map. They are ahead of... Uh-oh. I messed up real bad, Brian. I messed up real bad. Give me some chain lightning over here. I don't think these Minotaurs are really going to be an issue. I think it's going to be fine. I think we should be able to punch through, especially with the extra DPS help of the Cyclopses. Cyclopii? I don't know what the plural is of Cyclopses. Sorry if there's any Cyclopses in the audience right now that are offended by my inability to adapt my terminology. Let's see. We've got room for upgrades. I think the HP is a solid choice. We'll take an HP, and I think we'll take level 2 spells right there so we can start upgrading our spells. We got a lot of wizards over here. I'm just going to kind of drop bombs in the middle of all that, and then we'll clear out all the wizards along the south with chain lightning. We want to freeze those guys up right there so that they're taking double damage because they are the thick boys in this enemy formation. And I think we've got this one wrapped up already. It's looking pretty good to me. From here, we should pretty much be stomping until we get to level 30, in my experience. We've kind of picked up speed. We have a strategy. We have access to the best units. We're starting to get, like, meta upgrades. I will upgrade Chain Lightning. Thank you. Getting, like, an extra 6 or 7 bounces sounds great. I think... let's get some more health on all of our units. Let's make them a little bit more stacked so that they can take a hit. We'll go ahead and throw out an explosion right there. Unfortunately, my Griffons died very, very quickly in that first little scrum. Kind of sucks. That little Donnybrook, whatever you want to call it, the scuffle. What a rough life, dude. Can you imagine being these guys every single day? You've got to go fight to the death in agonizing pain just to be resurrected and come back and do it again the next day. They can't be getting paid very well for this. That's just kind of like my estimate, is this functionally cannot be paying very well. There's a lot of them. That means we got to spread the gold quite thin when it comes to the maintenance of our units. Frost Shock level 2. I'll do it. Yep, Frost Shock level 2 sounds good. We're at about half unit cap right now, which is perfectly fine. I don't know if I want to save up. We've only got, like, what are we on, like 22? So we've got 8 levels left, 8 upgrades left. Let's call it... let's try out some lifesteal so that they're getting health back for every hit that they're landing. I don't know that this is a good idea because I've never done a lifesteal build before. But the lifesteal build does sound appealing. Like, I like the idea of it because it seems like it should stack particularly well on characters like the Cherubim and like the Paladin who get healed whenever they hit. And so, like, I like the idea on paper. I just don't know how well it's going to go. It may be wasted money, but we'll find out. Dwarven Construct in here. The downside of the Dwarven Construct is that the Dwarven Construct hits your units as well when he attacks. I'll take one, but, like, I don't know if he affects all my units or if he just affects enemy units when he does his AoE. I haven't really been able to figure it out. Let's get some more melee damage because the front line does seem to be struggling a little bit. We'll take 2 more drafts over here. So there's a Cyclops and there's a Cyclops, so that's good. Backline should be developed right now. We'll go ahead and zap all those boys. We're fighting the Dragon. Can I freeze the Dragon? I would like to freeze the Dragon. Little dragon pop up there in the top. Damage seems to be helping out. Seems to be going okay. I'm going to wait for all the units to group up. And then we'll freeze this guy again. Just kind of keep it on him so that he's taking lots of extra damage. He should more or less be one-shotting each unit, though, each time his cycle, or every time his attack cycle goes through. Oh, man, that freeze spell right there is actually kind of indispensable. I wish I had that on some other runs. It's doing a really, really good job. We've got Reign of Death level 2, Frost Giant. I'll probably go Reign of Death level 2. I'll probably take another batch of melee damage. And an Archangel's fine. We'll kind of drop that in the midst of the enemies so that they're getting softened up a little bit. We'll freeze the bug guys because they actually hit really, really hard. And that'll take a little bit of DPS off the southern line because it seems to me like it's getting pressed a little bit harder than some of the other lines. I could try to drop something right there. We'll freeze them. Yeah, it's going okay. We're starting to clear. All right. Those little orc berserkers can hit kind of hard sometimes. Level 24 down. We got another 190 bucks. I'm going to take some extra money here, actually. And with that extra money, let's take some more units. We'll get another construct in there. We'll get another frost giant in there. Construct in there. Cyclops in there. Yeah, just kind of develop out the hits. Just keep them coming, you know? We'll fire that nice and early. We'll freeze all of them, so at least the Griffins have a chance to do something down there before they get one-shotted. The lifesteal actually seems to be keeping the Griffins up a little bit longer than they were previously staying up. We'll get another flash of doom over here and supplement it a bit. Freeze those cats again so that we can make some kind of... Oh, dude, they just keep spawning. They just keep spawning! Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, maybe keep firing. Yeah, keep the celestial artillery bumping. We'll freeze up there because the southern line and the center line seem to be okay. Actually, usually that wave goes pretty poorly, so we pulled that one out. That level usually goes badly. The levels aren't procedural in this game. They're pretty much the same every time you play. And so, like, I've learned to predict some of the things that we've gone up against. I think... Yikes. What do I want to do here? Let's get a little more range damage. I haven't really put anything into ranged yet. We'll go ahead and drop some hot fire over here. Freeze all of them so that the Griffins can do something before they die. I feel like the Griffins, if I can keep them alive, are just like really, really terrifying. And so like I'm trying to babysit them, but they're not making it easy. We'll drop some bombs over there. Chain lightning, freeze them up. Very nice. Easy clear. Level 26 complete. 250 bucks. I will take Toxic Blast. Sure. Gives us a little poison effect. That's not too bad if we can level it up. Level 3 spell unlock sounds good. Stack a few more units. Take Frost Shock level 3 for sure. Toxic Blast level 2. All right. I'm feeling better about my choices here. So now we can actually like poison kids up. There we go. Griffins, get on in there and do your thing. I feel like this Frost Shock ability is going to carry us to a dub out here, man. I'm feeling very confident about this Frost Shock that we got going on. It feels like it's performing solidly to me. Like we just wiped out 10 bosses like very, very quickly with very few losses on our own side. So I think I can live with that. I will probably take another Archangel. Chain Lightning level 3. Reign of Death level 3. Cyclops. Cyclops. Okay, send it. We've only got a couple more levels to play with before we got to kind of like be an adult here and get it together. Frost Shock on that central lair. They do have a lot of casters, but that's okay because I got a lot of stones I can rain from the sky. Like, we've actually got a pretty decent projectile build going right now when it comes to dropping enemies. And so I didn't go for a whole lot of summons, and I didn't go for a whole lot of heals or defensive spells or anything. So we've got a lot of alpha strike here. If you've ever played, like, Mech Warrior Battletech, that's what we got going on. We've got a lot of alpha. Let's go ahead and we will call it... We'll call it an Archangel, I guess. Are these all level 3? Not quite yet. We get Toxic Blast level 3. We will sit on the money for a little bit. We'll call in some Meteor Storms over there. I need these little wizards to be a tad closer to one another so I can wipe them out. Very nice. Go ahead and hit them over there. Keep them nice and dead. Hit them for a little bit of damage just to break up their DPS cycle. Wipe out a couple right there. Wipe out a couple right there. Let the chain lightning do its thing over on that side. They have a lot of wizards, man. There is some serious wizarding happening here. It's a good thing I got lots of spells. I'm a wizard too. You can't scare me. We'll take the money so that I start getting double the units whenever I draft. Cyclopses are good. We are on level 30. So if we need to spend all our money right here, take Cyclopses, Dwarven Constructs, Frost Giants, Dwarven Constructs, Archangels, Cyclopses, and Cyclopses. Not a bad army. Not a bad army in the slightest. May work out for us. We'll see how it goes. This is the final level, though, so we'll see how it plays. Well, one dragon going down pretty hard right there. Man's getting shredded. However, there are 4 more of them to deal with by the time we get out of here. Go ahead and freeze both of them. That double damage is just coming through. Like, you can actually, like, tangibly feel it. Poison him. Freeze him. Then get everybody grouped on the last dragon, and I think we'll be good to go. There is strategy here. Like, there is strategy and kind of prevailing meta. I'm hoping they add in sort of like a Binding of Isaac-style relic system to the game as well. All right, so we've made it to the end game with many explosions of gemstones. I'm hoping what will happen is that they'll start adding relics that basically buff certain races. So, like, your dwarves get stronger, or, like, your constructs get stronger, or, like, every single attack from an angel causes a small explosion. Like, little relics like that you pick up every now and again would be pretty rad. I guess this is our final endgame go. I will more than likely just take some more drafts. Lots more Dwarven Constructs. We got 14 of them. Do you have enough Dwarven Constructs? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Go ahead and drop the bombs on them. We are now officially in the end game. We have to take 5 fights in a row. We do get to heal our units in between fights, in case you were wondering, but we no longer get upgrades or money. We just have to do these last 5 increasing difficulty fights, and that's pretty much all there is to it. We'll know pretty quickly whether or not we're winning or losing. Drop that over there. Drop that over there, just to give us a little bit of artillery fire cover. It seems like the front line held okay for this fight, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for later fights, unfortunately. The lifesteal does seem to be doing very, very well for the bigger, thicker boy units, though. So who knows? Maybe it'll carry us on through. Let's see what I can zap here. I'm going to save. Yeah, get it right there. We'll put that right there. We'll bomb that out right there just to take some pressure off, because I feel like they're getting hit kind of hard. Chain some lightning around. Poison them. We may be in business. It's hard to say. It strikes me as somewhat obvious, though, that the only units that are living through all this are the frontline constructs. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to buckle up here and figure it out. Go ahead and zap whatever you can over there. Poison what you can on that side. Protect the griffins a little bit. Cooldown is back up for the artillery bombing. Poison is ready to go, so we'll get that moving. Chain lightning, just whatever you can. Freeze the Yetis. Keep on bombing. Get some poison on those guys. I don't know. I think we're probably toast. It's kind of hard to judge right now the efficacy of our warband. We do still have frontline troops remaining, though, and that's usually a good sign. Okay, next round. Send it. Go ahead and drop some bombs on your moms over there. Chain lightning a couple units down on that side. Freeze up the dragon. I gotta focus all my freezes on the dragon, unfortunately. I don't want to, but I kind of have to. Oh no, my units are pushing into the artillery strike. The dragon is already down, though, which is a good thing. We need to freeze this lower layer down here so that it can hold. We need to bomb out these guys. They're putting too much range damage on me. There we go. We killed off a big swath of them. Freeze them. Maybe bomb them out. A little bit of poison on you guys. They did officially make it to my ranged units this time. Oh man, we're going to be cutting this one close. Yep, by the skin of my teeth. I don't know if we're going to make this last one. This last one might get a little bit hectic. We'll go ahead and drop some bombs over there. We've got a double dragon freeze opportunity right there, which is really good. We'll go ahead and throw around some chain lightning. We need the dragons to go quickly. The longer the dragons are allowed to DPS, they basically one-shot anything that they hit. And so the dragons are going to be like our primo targets for right now. Get some poison over there. Some chain lightning along that lower flank. Bomb them out. Come on. Give me a win here. Yetis are almost through. We'll bomb who we can, where we can over there, but our final melee is down. Chain lightning. Tough to say. It's going to be really, really close. Freeze them. Put some poison on them. We got this. We got this, bro. We got this. There it is, and we've beaten the game with one wizard. You've somehow avoided certain annihilation and defeated the endgame of Mage and Monsters. 110 blood shards. You can continue in endless mode. Enemies get 15% health and damage. No. Celebrate? Oh, yay. I'm so sorry for YouTube's encoder right now. That's going to take forever to render. All right, so we've got some power-ups we can buy. I would suggest buying things like really rad spells that help out. Apparently, I can start with, teleport. How much does the necromancer cost? I want a necromancer. That'd be sick. Oh, I could buy rerolls too. Huh. Okay. 7% more gold feels like an easy early pick, in my opinion. Feels like a solidly good pick. But yeah, that's Mage and Monsters. I hope you guys liked it. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Mage and Monsters is a $3 wonder that'll probably give you a lot of hours of gameplay, and the developer seems fairly dedicated to adding more things to it. So getting in for $3 feels like a good play, even if you only play it for 10 or 15 hours and then check back in on it in 6 months. It's a fun game. It's a simple game. And in my opinion, it's a testament to how all single-man projects should be kind of pitched and developed. It should be a simple idea that's easier to execute, that's very, very easy to understand, but has some replayability to it. Like, this is exactly what I like to see from kind of one-man, tiny indie projects. I will see you all next time. Thank you for hanging out. That's all I got. And it's time for me to bid you all farewell. Bye, folks.